Hello and welcome to another exciting video here in Mathland. Today we're going to talk about lesson 8.5, area of a triangle. So you went over Kramer's rule and how to find the determinants and all that stuff. Now with the triangle, it's a little bit different, but it's pretty cool because we're using matrices for everything. What? Find the area of a triangle? That's amazing. So yeah, let's get to it. So I have 3 points of a triangle. Okay, I don't have to graph this out. I could. I mean, some of the homework problems have you look at the triangle, find 3 points, and we're going to put this all together. But here's just 3 points, just the bare bones of this whole situation here. Okay, so here's the formula. The area of the triangle is plus or minus 1/2 of the determinant of these points and 1. It's kind of weird, but I'm going to spell it out for you. So I'm going to put these numbers here. So I'm going to call this guy X and Y and X1, Y1, and X2 and Y2, and X3 and Y3. Can't see that very well, but that's what I'm going to do. So the formula is you're going to put X1, Y1, and then a 1, an actual 1, a number 1. And you're going to put X2, Y2, and the number 1 again, and then X3, Y3, and the number 1 yet again. So we need to find the determinant of all this stuff. So determinant of all that stuff here. Okay, so we know how to do that, right? It's a 3 by 3. We've got that down. And all we're going to do is multiply that by 1/2, plus or minus, because what's funny is that if you get a determinant with a negative, you'll need to make that positive because the area cannot be negative, right? So we have a plus or minus, depending on where we go with the determinant. Okay, so that's our formula. Let's plug in these numbers to this formula. So my area equals 1, or plus or minus 1/2 of all this stuff here. So I've got -2, 4, and a 1. It's always going to be 1. Always, always, always. And then I've got a 1 and a 5 and another 1. Always going to be 1. That last column is always 1. And 3, -2, and 1. Okay, so now let's do our determinant. Remember, we take the first column. I'm gonna leave this for last here. So he's just gonna come down, and I'm gonna do the determinant over yonder. Okay, so I'm gonna do. This is gonna be -2, and the determinant. Remember, feed the little fishy here, the upside down fish. So I've got -2 there. So I'm gonna cover these up and do the 5 and the 1, and the -2 and the 1. Right. And minus that second value there in the first value in the row, or the second row, first column. And then we've got to do this guy. So if he's there, I'm going to cover this one up and do 4, 1, and -2, 1, like that. And then I'm going to add the last one, and we've got 4, so he's there, so I've got 4 and 1 and 5 and 1. And do my little fishy thing. Hey, little fishy. So we've got, let's see, come down here. So he's going to be multiplied by all this stuff. So I got a -2, little fishy, 5 times 1 minus that other stuff. So I've got 5 minus -2, it's going to be +2. Okay, do the same thing here, -1 times 4 times 1 minus -2 times 1. So 4 times 1 is 4, so that's going to be +2. Oops. And then +3 times 4 times -1 minus 5 times 1. So we've got 3 times 4 minus 5. Okay. Okay, let's figure all these numbers out here. I've got, let's see, 5 times 2 is 7, so that's -14. And then down here we have 4 plus 2, that's 6, minus 1, that's -6. And then this one down here, that's -1 times 3, that is a -3. Okay, so all this stuff times plus or minus 1/2. Okay, So let's go ahead and combine these all together. This is going to be 6 and 3, that's 9, plus 14, that's negative 23. And then times, over 1, plus or minus 1/2. Okay, so this guy's negative, so we have to use the negative 1/2 here because we want the area to be positive. So my area is negative 23 over 2 units squared. Yay, area of a triangle. Okay, so yeah, this was kind of weird. It's a fraction. But you know, it is what it is. So you find the determinant and you divide it by 2. Plus or minus will determine, or be determined by your determinant. So you have to make it positive. Oops, sorry, this is positive. Boop. Can't have a negative. Oh, a negative area. So here we go. We'll make a box, a new box around this. He's positive. Positive, and then we're just going to shade that area in. Oh, yeah, then make the effects real nice. Okay, there you go. So it's positive. We use the negative here and negative here to make it positive because you can't have negative unit squared. Okay, so here's another example for you. We have area of a triangle, pretty straightforward with all our numbers there, but what if we aren't given all our coordinates at once? Yikes. Okay, so here is an example. So we have to find x, and we're only given these values. So let's see, the area of the triangle equals 4 units squared. Okay, and we have to figure out what x is with our given points here. So we have just a -4 and a 2, and a -3 and a 5, and a -1 and an x. We have to figure out what that is. Okay, but you know what? We can do it. Here we go. We are going to set this up. We know our formula. Let's get that over here. Okay, so here's our formula. Area equals plus or minus 1/2 of this matrix. So we've got the first coordinate, the second coordinate, the third coordinate all set up here, and 1's on that third column. So let's do that. Okay, so my area is 4. So 4 equals plus or minus 1/2 of all these guys here. -4, 2, 1, -3, 5, 1, -1, x, 1. Okay, so now we gotta move stuff around. We gotta get x by itself, but first we have to figure out the determinant with the x value. But this guy, he's hanging out here and I don't really like him there. So I'm gonna move the plus or minus 1/2 to the other side. So if I multiply all this stuff here by plus or minus 1/2, that goes away, right? Oh, sorry, not by 1/2, by 2, plus or minus 2. That would cancel, right? All this plus or minus stuff goes away. And then now I need to multiply this side by plus or minus 2, okay? So this guy's going to be eliminated from over here, and I'm going to have plus or minus 8 on the left side, okay? We can deal with that. That's a nice number there. So plus or minus 8 equals, let's do our little determinant thing here. So I've got a -4. And the determinant, so 4 is right here. I'm going to cover this one up. I have 5, 1, x, and 1. Okay, and then minus is my next one, but this is already negative, so I'm going to have plus 3 of the determinant. Cover that one up, so I have 2, 1, and then x and 1. And then my last one is going to be -1 times, cover this one up, 2, 1, 5, 1. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to figure this out, feed my fishy here. So we've got this stuff going on. So, oops, negative plus or minus 8. -4 times 5 minus x times 1. So 5 minus x. And then positive 3 times 2 times 1 minus x. Okay, so 2 minus x. All right, -1. 2 times 1 minus 5 times 1. So we've got 2 minus 5. Okay, now let's go ahead and multiply these all out here. This is going to be plus or minus 8 equals, this is going to be negative 20 plus 4x. This is 6 minus 3x. This is negative 2 plus 5. Okay, so let's add all these guys up, adding like terms on the right side. So we've got negative 20, we've got 6, we've got negative 2, and 5. That's going to be a negative 11. Oops, plus or minus 8. Negative 11 over here, and then how many x's do we have? We have 4 minus 3. Oh, it's going to be just 1x. Okay, so now we've got to split it here. Split it into two equations. So I'm going to take the positive one, 8 equals negative 11 plus x, and negative 8 equals negative 11 plus x. Okay, solve for x. Let's move the 11 to both sides. So add 11, add 11. Okay, so now we've got 19 equals x. Ta-da! Or add 11 to both sides. We've got 3 equals x. Ta-da! All right, so I solved for x. Yay, 19 or 3. And you can check it back in there if you want to, and it's going to equal 4. Boom, got it, done.